Why don't you stand on it?
And it's begun.
It's brutal.
It has begun. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on Legends Day ahead of the Indianapolis 500. Joining us today, we have Scott Borchetta, who is CEO and owner of Big Machine. We have Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren Racing, and Tony Kanaan, Racing Director of Aero McLaren. We have an exciting announcement today leading into the season finale where all roads lead to Nashville. So Scott, mind doing us a favor and sharing the good news for us today?
Yeah, I'm really honored today. And thank you for being here to announce that we are going to be an official sponsor with Aero McLaren IndyCar to make as much noise and sexiness and aspiration to come to Nashville for the season finale for the NTT IndyCar Championship. And working with Zach, who I've known for years, and Tony, who we've had a relationship since 2013, we're going to make a lot of noise and make fantastic season finale.
On that note, Scott, what makes you most excited about this partnership and all the noise that you'll be making around the season finale?
Well, I think to begin with, you look at two of the best drivers on the racetrack right now, you know, and about this time tomorrow, we could all three be sitting in Victory Lane taking a photograph. So we'll be on the front wing of Alex and Pato's cars for the rest of the season. And we'll have the primary livery in Milwaukee leading up to the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. But if you look at the combined social reach of McLaren, of their drivers, of Big Machine, our artists, and IndyCar, arguably we have one of the biggest social media platforms in sports. And we're going to absolutely utilize that.
Thank you. And Zach, you've shared ideas on how to build more hype and more excitement around IndyCar races in the series. So how do you think this partnership will amplify that?
Well, first, Scott and I are going to go do some more vintage racing together.
Yes.
We have a common passion for the history of IndyCar racing.
It's kind of appropriate that it's Legends Day.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. But, you know, I think everything that Aero McLaren and McLaren in general try and do is to be the most entertaining motorsports team in the world. And I think to blend sport and entertainment, which is really one and the same, but to bring together these two audiences, both are athletes, both entertainers and racing drivers, I think is very exciting. Scott has a great vision for IndyCar, what he's done for Nashville. And done for IndyCar in Nashville and really globally is awesome. So to come together, I think both being promoters and very focused on the fan at the end of the day, I think we'll put together a good collective show and cap it all off with hopefully competing for a championship in Nashville.
And Tony, you've had a relationship with Scott and Big Machine for several years now. So what can you say about the enthusiasm that both bring to the series?
I mean, you know, it's hard for me to sit here and talk about, you know, my brother here. It's I think Scott's been showing his.
He doesn't look like you, Tony, at all.
No, I mean, that's true, boss. He looks much better.
You're much stronger.
We look at his passion for the sports. Like you talk, these two guys up here, they know probably anything and everything about the history of racing. And I think that's what, you know, nowadays, especially with this new generation, we're trying to educate or show them how cool this is. And I think if anybody knows how to throw a party, Scott does. How to organize an event, Scott does. And then with his team. So, you know, being associated with him since 13, since Dyer retired, actually, he you know, on my birthday, actually, December 31st in 2013, he says, hey, we're spending New Year's together. And he says, hey, you want to be part of the Big Machine family? And I've been there ever since. I told him even after I retired, was still trying to help. And it's really cool to see, you know, what he's trying to do. I think he has the vision. And these two guys, as far as vision and being promoting, is to put a winning situation. So I'm glad to be part of it. I won that race in 2004, so it's a pretty cool race to win. And, you know, we'll do anything we can to promote the race in IndyCar.
And you've brought that souvenir with you?
Yeah, I mean, we took it out of my trophy case, so I'll show you guys. But you can say if this is gonna happen again?
Yeah, this is our official announcement. We're bringing the guitar trophy back to the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix.
And I tell
And
you,
we're not
like,
going to let Kyle Busch touch it.
yes, this is probably the most popular trophy in the house. The kids try to play. I can't not play, but it's pretty cool.
And we have about 10 minutes for questions. So if there are any questions from the media. Yes.
Hey guys, congratulations on the news today. Zach, for yourself, how big of an announcement is this for Ahora McLaren, given that you guys are kind of expanding and doing really well for the series?
It's awesome. I mean, anytime we can get involved with a partner that has a tremendous amount of consumer reach, hit the youth, men, women around the world. I think, as I mentioned earlier, entertainment, music combined with motor racing and IndyCar is very exciting. On a personal level, my father was in the in the music industry, so it's something that I find really cool. I've got a lot of friends in Nashville that are in the music industry, so and Scott and I have on a personal level a lot in common for our passion for the sport and the history. So that'll make it super easy working together because we both have a very clear vision of what excites the fans, because I think you're looking at two of the biggest fans of IndyCar racing, so we're kind of talking to ourselves to a certain extent. So excited to put on a good show. Thank you.
Amelia?
Hello. Since it's all musical here, do you have any special soundtrack for this collaboration that could represent?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll be working on playlists this afternoon. So I love that.
Bruce Martin.
Bruce Martin, NBCSports.com. Tony, you're one of the last drivers, along with Scott Dixon and a few others, that actually raced on that oval. How big a challenge do you see that being as the final race of the season? Because a lot of these guys have never raced an IndyCar on concrete before.
Yeah, I think it's going to bring some spice into it for sure. It's a very different type of oval, especially because of the concrete. So maybe Scott will have an advantage, but maybe my teammates will, I can tell them all about it. But yeah, I think it's going to definitely bring something that more for the finale, because the type of the track and the type of the surface for sure.
Yeah, and I can tell you too that maybe speaking a little out of school, but IndyCar and Firestone are very inspired to make sure they have a great tire. And so there's going to be a couple of tire tests, and they're going to make sure we have a fantastic tire for the finale.
And for Zach, are you channeling your inner JMI days to come up with some really creative marketing ideas?
Fortunately, I'm sitting next to one of the best promoters and marketeers around. So I think between the two of us on our collective teams, right, where I think it would be incorrect to take all the credit. It's fun to do that, but we both have some very talented people that support us. And so when we get the two groups together, I'm sure we'll come up with some pretty cool ideas.
Nate Ryan.
When just following up on that, when the venue change was announced from downtown to Lebanon, Scott, you said you were going to work on ways to get people out there. Zach, you kind of just alluded to it, but like, have you guys done any brainstorming? Is there anything more you can tell us about how you're going to take the downtown atmosphere and put it out at Nashville Super Speedway?
Yeah, so to kick off downtown on Friday, we will have the pit stop competition. We will have our 4th annual Freedom Friday. We're going to shut down Broadway, and it's going to be our biggest lineup yet. It's going to be live and free on Freedom Friday, and we'll have the talent announcement coming pretty quick, but it's going to be billed as the biggest album release party in the world. And so then we're going to have stages out at the Super Speedway on both days. So we'll have a full lineup of music. And again, I'm not going to announce any of the music guests today. So we're definitely going to have that aesthetic. And Zach was touching on our marketing teams. And I'm so proud of a few of the things that we've already come up with our team. I'll give you an example for our billboards around town. So especially keeping in touch with Nashville and with the Speedway. On the corner of First Avenue and Korean Betts Boulevard, we have a wraparound around the building. It says at 175 miles an hour, you're only 11.2 minutes away. So wherever you are and see the billboards all around town, if you're in Brentwood at 201 miles an hour, you're only 9.1 minutes away. So we want everybody psychologically to realize it's not that far away. And then to come back downtown on Saturday after, qualifying and practice, it's going to be rocking there as well. So we're going to keep it feeling like Nashville all the way to the checkered flag.
Well, we might have the Zach Brown band play, but that might be the three of us.
That
That would definitely be entertaining.
We would be cheaper.
No, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it. It'll be exciting. I think we saw how awesome the Nashville race is, which is why it was put to the grand finale. So I'm sure when we get our collective teams together, we'll come up with some pretty awesome ideas.
Tony DeZino from Trackside Online. Question for TK. Obviously, you've got two great promoters next to you. You've got, the driver hat, the sporting director hat, and now what are you learning from like your promoting marketing elements like that you might have taken on from these guys?
Sorry, say it again.
Just what kind of like insights have you learned from these two about how to market and promote as you're now kind of in?
Wow, I mean, I've obviously known these two for a long time, and that's what, since I've left Andretti, I had to kind of discover that a little bit and survive. I think I've always picked up Scott's brain on some of my stuff, obviously with Zach, always trying to do better. And with my role now, especially with the team, we just need to bring, trying to understand what people need. And as far as the race, what fans want from that prospect. And I think, as my relationship with the fans are extremely close, I think I can relay that to Scott. And then we sat down just a couple of days and we brainstormed a bunch of different things. They're fun to do, the stuff that I think that I hear from the fans on an autograph session. And then on the sponsor side, what can we do for them that is gonna, bring something to either their clients or their guests. So been learning a lot lately, working quite a bit more than I used to. So it's been pretty cool.
I gotta compliment Tony too. He's always been fan first. That's why we have been together for so long. It's still block and tackle. We can do all the high end super digital marketing, et cetera, but we can't forget shaking hands. How do you sell 1 million albums? Shake 1 million hands. So, Tony understands that as much as doing signings for our vodka, et cetera. He knows that one-on-one fan first is what wins. And we're going to really continue to amplify that.
And we have one last question. We'll go online from Archie O'Reilly from Dive Bomb.
Thank you. For Zach, obviously the 500 is the race with the most viewership, the most kind of attention and attendance. How do you feel that can be translated into the rest of the season and events like Nashville?
I think it's just helping create exposure for IndyCar. If we look at Formula One and how popular that's become, it's the same Formula One that I grew up following, but Netflix in particular did a fantastic job of exposing Formula One. So I think in Indianapolis 500, having partners like Scott, where you just take a sport that is already an awesome, but expose it to people that maybe don't see it on a regular basis, is what'll turn them into fans. So we've got a great product. We just need to promote it more, promote it through entertainment, because sport is entertainment. And I think that will ultimately continue to grow our audience.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for coming on a busy day, busy weekend, and more fun to come.
Thanks, everybody. See you in September.
Indianapolis 500. Scott Dixon, P1 in that practice session in the 90 laps that he turned. Top speed of 227.206 miles an hour, at least a one-lap average. And then, of course, Scott drives the number 9 PNC Bank, Chip Ganassi Racing Honda, the 2008 500 winner, making his 22nd start on Sunday. And Scott McLaughlin, 93 laps turned in that practice session, driving the number 3 Pennzoil Team Penske Chevrolet. 5-time NTT IndyCar Series race winner, starts from pole for the 7th time in his NTT IndyCar Series career. Scott, fastest today?
Yeah, which one?
Oh, that's right. That's a good point. Well, the fastest Scott today.
Series, yeah.
They're faster Scott today.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on race car seems to be pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it started off pretty good. Conditions were definitely tricky. It changed a lot throughout. As we were just chatting, I think earlier on was quite comfortable. We went through some changes. Some were good, some were bad. But definitely a lot of competitive cars out there. So it's going to be one tough race. And as the track got a little bit warmer out there with track temp especially, it got pretty greasy and pretty slippery. But yeah, I think the 9 car has been fairly strong in race running, but unfortunately, I think there's about 20 others that are really strong as well.
And Scotty Mack race car, how would you describe it?
Very similar to what we started with this week. I mean, we haven't really played around too much mechanically with the car. Feels really good. It felt good out of the box, and just sort of building my confidence with it. We tried a few different downforce levels there, just to get an idea. Looks like cool attempts for Sunday as well as Monday. If that gets pushed back, hopefully not. But ultimately, you're just sort of going through the motions, attacking the pit speed line. Actually sped, which was a good thing to get that out of the way now. A few other things like, just pit stop practice and whatnot. It was just ticking things off the list. So, yeah, felt really good, but didn't put a big number up, but I think we're okay.
All right, Jack's got a microphone, so does Madeline. Let us know. We'll start here with Kyle, then we'll go Joey, Jack.
Scott, obviously with the fastest time today, but you're starting kind of further back, maybe not where you would want to go. Is the approach today that we saw just trying to go fast, get a lot of laps, is that kind of a preview of what your strategy might be during the 500, or what does that look like?
I think you just kind of got to roll with it. If you go in with any kind of preset notion of what you want to do, it just takes one person to change that. So, I think just going in with an open mind, trying to be quick on your feet. And I think that's true for the whole strategy for our race, is just ready for change, because I think there'll be a lot of change going on. So especially with weather conditions, there's a lot of, things outside of your control. So, just do the best that you can and see where it, plays out.
Was there any particular strategy that you tried to drive with today?
Go fast.
Don't crash.
And then Scott McLaughlin, just kind of looking around, like you're in the iconic suit now, sat next to a 500 winner, you get the P1 position. It kind of just feels like the perfect storm for you this year. How are you feeling going into the 500?
Super excited. I mean, when this guy won in 08, it made me love the Indy 500 a lot, and as a Kiwi, and a very proud one at that. And I guess it has been a pretty whirlwind week. Being fastest here for qualifying, obviously it's the first box you want to tick, but ultimately you want to win on Sunday. But it's still been a really cool week, and I've really enjoyed it. Really try to soak it in as much as I can. But at the end of the day, the job's this weekend. But just really proud to represent Pennzoil, and obviously it's 40 years since Rick won in this race car, and it would mean a lot to the team and myself to do that. Obviously, it would be a life-changing experience, but ultimately we need to go through all the process, all the execution to get to that point. There's 32 other amazing race car drivers out there that are just going to be chasing us down and working us very hard, and no doubt about that. So just keep my emotions in check, just enjoy the moment and see what happens.
And then with all that in mind, like what you're wearing, Yellow Submarine, P1 position, and then also just the news surrounding Penske all season, is there any like added pressure that you're feeling going into this race?
Not really. I'm just very focused on the job at hand. I think we proved that you only get a sore neck looking back. So we'll keep working forward, and I'm really proud of the execution all month, but at the end of the day, the main time to execute is Sunday, and we'll try and do that.
Joey, then Nathan. Go ahead, Joey.
For Dixon, obviously we saw what Chevy was able to do in qualifying, but when you look at the race trim and how this feels, does it feel like y'all are more level?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell in race trim, to be honest. I'd say it seems more level, but they still seem to pull up and come back from fairly far back. So it'll be interesting to see how it is in the race. Obviously, I'm sure nobody was stressing the engine too much in that that session as well. But you know, many a times the fastest car doesn't win, right? You know, so you just got to try and tick all the boxes, make sure that you're covering everything, and you know, see what the last sort of 20 or 40 laps give you, and go from there. But I think we're in with the shot, you know, and that's all you need.
And then for either of you or both of you, most tracks we go to, when conditions get cooler, you just know that it's going to increase grip, but this place kind of seems especially finicky. So what kind of mystery are we looking at if you know, we get the overcast and the cooler temperatures Sunday, Monday? Hopefully not Monday.
Scotty's got more experience than me.
I think it's the same trend. You know, the pack will just get tighter.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like it'll cool off. Yeah, it'll get more grip, but everyone will get more grip. So I think you'll see the same gaps and stuff like that. It's a matter of being able to follow close enough when they make mistakes and capitalize.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go Nathan, then Nate. Go ahead, Nathan.
This one's for Scott Dixon. Scott, I know it's been a while since we've had weather really impact race day, I think to 2004 and 2007. Can you kind of just look back for us and tell us what those race days are like when you don't know when you're going to be racing, you don't know if you're running to 200 laps or 150 laps, or what are those experiences like for folks that either weren't around here or weren't racing in those?
I think, you know, you can't look into it too much, right? It's the same for everybody, and it's, you know, you can't do anything about it. It was weird. I think I remember having a nap in between the start and the finish on one of those, and then obviously it finished under rain with was it 07, I think Dario beating me under caution, so that was not fun. So not a good memory. But yeah, it's weather, man. It is what it is. You know, might favor somebody in the end, it might not. Hopefully it's you, you know, if you can ride that kind of train, but yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
And for Scott McLaughlin, Scott, with you guys having 3 Penske cars across the front row on Sunday, how, if at all, can you guys work together to try and control the race? Is that something you guys have talked about yet, or like how you guys will approach that? Or is that something you guys won't worry too much about?
I think, you know, we've seen over the years, I think Scotty and Alex have done this before where they really controlled that first sort of 100 and odd laps and whatnot. So it is able to be done, but we haven't had an active discussion about it yet. But at the end of the day, I'm sure there probably will be a sit down with all 3 of us before the race and just sort of analyze a few things. But at the same time, I guess everyone knows that when you're out in front, you're chewing a lot of gas. So ultimately, I think we'll take turns maybe at doing that, or, you know, making sure that we keep ourselves in good track position. I mean, ultimately, that's what I'm thinking about. But yeah, certainly when you get back to sort of 6, 7, 8 deep, it's quite difficult. So we need to make sure that we're up the front. But yeah, it's just let it come, let it happen. I haven't been up the front, started 14th, best I've had. So yeah, I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks.
I know you guys have appearances and meetings soon and pit stop challenge. We got time for one more. Go ahead, Nate.
Can I ask one of each?
Just for you, yes.
Thanks. For Scott Dixon, on your left, Scott. We talked to Chip this morning, and he said that he felt like Honda gave something up in qualifying, but it was also sort of a team thing that kept you guys from making the Fast 12. And you felt like you guys had rectified it, or at least what you could. So I'm wondering, could you elaborate on that, like your perspective on that? And did you feel like you guys fixed whatever was going on in qualifying the last 2 practices this week?
Well, it is Chip's birthday today, so
nice.
One of us, yeah. Yeah, I haven't been in, you know, obviously our relationships are much tighter with like our direct engineers, and you kind of, you know, come in each day and hope for some news. But I wouldn't say there's been any news, so I'm not sure what Chip's maybe alluding to, but you know, I think as we spoke earlier, there was some separation in qual, but separation for us from where we were last year. And I think the biggest thing for us is that we weren't the fastest Honda. So, you know, we missed something there. You know, where Honda lies on where they think their performance was is something a bit different as well too. But we'll be digging pretty deep. We've gone and had some discussions already. We think there's a couple of things that we missed, but all in all, it's going to take some time.
And for Scotty Mac, Simon Pageant, of course, is here, and we interviewed him during practice on Peacock, and he confirmed to Marty that he's your secret mentor. So So wondering if you, and he was highly complimentary of everything you've done and about, how you came to him and have absorbed everything. So I was just wondering if you just give us more perspective on like how it came about and how much of an impact did he have on the poll? Like, were you using things in terms of lines and things that he was telling you?
The line I think came a little naturally to me, but yeah, he's a very keen observer on many things, a note taker, and we've been exchanging notes all week, and I asked him to do this like February, and we've been analyzing a lot of things since. But at the same time, he's always been a Team Penske member. He's won the 500 for us, and at the end of the day, we all just want him to be okay. So this was for me an opportunity for me to work with him, but also an opportunity for me to help maybe bring him back to the race and get his name back involved. And whether that's not driving a race car or what, but at least he's involved and he gets that feel of being at 500 again. I mean, I'm sure it's so hard for him right now. It's his first 500 he's missed in a long time. He's a 500 winner, and he's out at a point in his career where he could easily keep going for many, many years. So he's just a nice guy. I've always got along with him from Penske, and was one of my, it has been a lot of help. And there's definitely a lot of things that I've used this week that have helped. But at the same time, we've had great car speed, which has made it a lot easier. But just leaning on him has been nice.
Great job these past couple of weeks, guys. Good luck on Sunday, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you both. Scott Dixon and Scott McLaughlin. Pit Stop Challenge is next. We'll be bringing up the champion team once that wraps up this afternoon. You need water? What do you want? I don't know. Yeah, I also don't like it up. I feel like well, but you're part of it. Okay, wrapping up this year's one stop to share pit stop challenge competition, won for the record 19th time by Team Penske, getting it done with also driver Joseph Newgarden, who says, I don't want to be out there. This isn't about him. This is about you guys. But we're going to drag him up here very briefly anyway. Of course, driving the number 2, Shell Powering Progress, Team Penske, Chevrolet. Who wants to speak for the crowd, for the group, until Joseph shows up? Is that you?
Yeah.
All right. Introduce yourself to everybody here and tell us about the team a little bit.
Chad Gordon, chief mechanic, outside front changer. This is the A team. This is the 2 crew. We got Kyle Lapierre over here on the end, changing inside rear. Caitlin Brown, superstar, changing inside front. Tom Jones over here, air jack and tire guy. Keenan Watson, outside rear, fastest one in the pit lane, and DJ Rupert, fueler.
How did I'm just looking at your path to getting it done here. You guys faced the 7 crew, which at one point this year had the top pit rankings, I guess, let's call it. Then you advance to take on the 12 car. The 12 car generally is the top pit crew up and down pit road. So you guys, this is not like, you got to beat the best to be the best. You guys are here, huh?
Yeah, we train with the 12 car guys all the time.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That's a good point.
So we get the same coaching, the same facilities and all the same stuff. So we expect to be here.
Yeah. You want to go down the road, talk about it a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Lead us off. Who wants to lead us off?
No, I think Caitlin's got the most experience. No.
Don't be bashful. Don't be, Caitlin, you got something to say. I know that.
Take one for the team. Go ahead, say something.
What was the secret?
All right. My secret?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. So, but I just want to thank everybody back at the shop. We have a lot of people behind us that let us do what we're doing. And without them, we're not up here. So we have guys that are working on our guns, guys that are working on our uprights to make sure the nuts go on easily. Those guys are the real champions here. It's not just us.
Good answer.
Caitlin, just so you're aware, this is believed to be, you are believed to be the first woman to be a part of a winning pit crew in the Pit Stop Challenge for the Indianapolis 500. So, last year's 500 win, this year you're doing this. So, what's that? Take us through that a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for me, it's just show up and do what everyone else does and try and be my best. It's still cool. It's still cool to win something for Roger, and especially at IMS. I think they said this was the 19th pit stop win for him.
Yep, yep.
So to get him in his 19th 500 and now his 19th pit stop win is pretty cool.
He's got 19 pole. I mean, everything across the board is 19. Are you guys being bashful or no? You want to speak up a little bit? You're good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. We'll open it up for questions. Bruce, lead us off, pal.
Caitlin, for historical purposes, how old are you and where you hail from?
25 and I'm from Wilmington, Illinois.
So how did you get involved with Team Penske?
Just connections and knowing people. Moved down to North Carolina to pursue racing and got involved with local dirt late model stuff. They knew somebody at Penske, and from there I kind of got my foot in the door.
Did you start out trying to maybe be with the NASCAR team, or did you want to be with the IndyCar team?
Yeah, originally I had my eyes set on NASCAR. And then once I got to Team Penske, I knew that they're involved in a lot of different series and they're successful in all of them. And I knew that that was always an opportunity if I wanted it. And in 21, I had that opportunity. And once I came over to this side, I knew this is where I wanted to be.
And for anybody else who wants to answer this question, there's been many times in the past where Team Penske's come in and swept the pole, the pit stop challenge, in the race. Does this feel like it's one of them years?
I think we'd all be lying if we didn't say we feel good about it, but there's still, 500 miles to race on Sunday, so.
But also just how important is that pit stop challenge? Because I know it's always been one that Roger Penske always wanted to win because it showcases how good you guys are.
I think when we got told, everybody sitting here, when we got told we were doing this again this year, we were pumped for it. Cause this is, I don't know, we like showing up for this and showcasing everybody on pit lane, not just us. Like there's a lot of talent out there.
Any other questions? Kyle? And then we'll go Tim May after that.
How many?
Oh, my.
How many of you were on Joseph's team that won a couple years ago in 2022, the pit stop?
3, yeah.
3.
I just wanted to ask, like, what is it about not only like this crew that's on the stage now, but just the Team Penske crews where you guys are able to be so quick and successful?
Honestly, I think it's just training. I think we probably do off season, 3 days a week. And we're doing 4 to 5 stops a day nonstop. So I think it's just continuing, to push the limits to find what a normal stop would be, and going above and beyond that.
Yeah, I think we had a new strength and conditioning coach this year too. Really seemed to help with just our overall fitness in the off season. Like we were working out like 4 times a week, some weeks, on top of having pit stop practice. So I think that was a huge one for us.
What kind of exercises are you guys doing to prepare for the?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of Tabata, some CrossFit stuff, a lot of high intensity, explosive power. Yeah. But also to go back to your original question too, there's a lot of camaraderie and teamwork that goes in between us, the 3 and the 12. Like we're all constantly watching each other's film, trying to pick each other apart and figure out where we can be better. And just the overall teamwork collectively is helpful.
Tim, and then we'll go back to Bruce.
Yeah, I was wondering when you're down there in the box, those 2 races, the 2 finals, is there any trash talk going on with the other team? I mean, what's it like down in there as the intensity grows?
Go ahead. Well, some of those guys we used to work with, so it was actually pretty friendly. I got a couple friends out in that car, so it wasn't there was no trash talk, and we're all friends.
Thank you,
Bruce.
In baseball, they always say you can tell the catcher because their knuckles are all gnarled up from, catching foul tips and things like that. I'm sure you guys get a lot of battle scars from what you do. What is generally, what are the battle scars that you take home with you?
I don't know. I'm not a good person to answer this because I got calluses and burn marks from 13, 14, 15 years in professional racing. So I can't tell you what scars and calluses are from what. They just, if you show up and work, they just show up and you bruise in and you just keep going.
Is it a lot of scraped knuckles or sore knees?
That's every day. I mean, that's just
We
getting
get
older
cuts
for
and
me.
bruises just like everybody else, but as far as our training, everybody back at the shop who helps us out, all of our trainers and everybody who's there as far as physical therapy, there's not really a whole lot of severe injuries that you have to take time off. It's just bumps and bruises.
The worst thing that happens in this room is a hangnail. So you got it a lot worse than we do.
Did anyone here play high school sports or maybe athletics in college? Would you guys go down the, I'm just kind of curious, go down the row here. What'd you play?
Hockey.
In high school?
Yep.
I played for a big club in Charlotte, soccer, and then PDL traveling team, and then 3 years in high school.
Nice.
Hockey and football and track and field.
In high school?
Yeah.
In college, in high school? Chad?
Baseball and pee wee hockey for me.
I played basketball and softball.
Nice.
I did baseball and wrestling.
Interesting. Go ahead.
I'm just in the garage and I hear someone to say, this is not that it's the same that in the race. We have different marks and everything. And I don't see that team over here. What is the difference between pit stop and in the race and this challenge?
Not much really, other than the car entry speed. Just because, you know, here during the race, they're going 60 miles an hour. So you got to pick the car out of a line and make sure you're paying close attention to the car coming at you and the cars around you. Here, they don't have a whole lot of time to accelerate. So it's mostly just as changers and crew members, just hitting your own marks and doing the same things you know how to do.
And you win it, you feel this is a big challenge.
Oh, sure. You're up against the best crews in IndyCar. And, you know, being the fastest on pit lane any week is a challenge. But to showcase it here like this makes it extra special.
Okay, and last, do you feel any different eyes on you? Because I see that as soon as you walk to the fence, a lot of people want to cheer with you. Do you feel the vibe different from the people, the audience?
Yes and no. I do sometimes, and other times I just feel like they're just excited in general, and see a crew member. But yeah, no, I don't think so.
Bruce?
Mr. Penske spends a lot of time with, you know, the guy on top of the timing stand, the race strategists and the drivers. What's it like when Mr. Penske comes by and congratulates all of you?
I mean, everybody looks up to him on our team. I mean, you don't get a bigger guy to envy in racing than Roger Penske. So, I mean, he's like probably everybody's hero, if I had to say so.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Jack, congratulations to your group.
Thank you.
Good luck on race day.
Thank
Do the same thing on race day. You'll be in good shape. Appreciate it, guys. Again, the winning Pit Stop Challenge champions, one stop and start Pit Stop Challenge in 2024. Team Penske, the #2, Shell powering progress. Team Penske Chevrolet.